Hi everyone. Yeah, the title isn't clickbait. I did almost die a few days ago. Um, before I get into a lot more detail on what happened and what this video is actually about, I would really like to thank everyone who offered their support and their well wishes on the Facebook posts. I was really overwhelmed by everyone's concern. And yeah, it really gave me a lot of positive support to get over it a little bit. Let me explain a little bit about what happened. I was training racing. I um, I was going pretty fast, probably around 30 knots or something, depending what the GPS said. Um, and then all of a sudden, I heard a snap. Um, and before I could realize really what happened is the kite sort of looped up and around. And with the 12-meter lines I was on, and I was on a 9-meter kite, so it was actually pretty windy. It threw me straight and up into the air. The kite tried to loop under me, and the kite sort of crashed directly under me, and I sort of went over. That's the last I remember. And I crashed on my back and sort of my neck. So I sort of did a front loop with my body. Um, and then it went black. I was out. I don't really remember anything until I came to. I don't know how long I was out, but I was super lucky because I obviously was floating on my back and I didn't sort of roll over. This is where my like impact vest. I have a very thick impact vest that I wear. Probably saved my life. Um, so I must have been out for a little bit because my kite was already half underwater and my board was really far distance away downwind already. Um, so now there I was. I was just still dazed, coming out of it, and then going, "All right, what do I do?" I looked at the kite. The kite was down in the water, so I look at my bar, realized, okay, one of my right leader line was gone, so my line was gone there. So it dawned on me, okay, you broke a line. It's not bad. Um, and then I started rolling up my lines. I did notice that sort of my neck was hurting a lot. My left side was hurting, and there was a bit of an issue with my leg. Um, it wasn't so bad yet, so I started self rescuing. I got to the kite and then realized there's a huge rip in the kite, and it was full of water. Yeah, and obviously when you rip a hole into a foil kite, water goes in pretty quick. So okay, I was like, okay, wait, I don't think I can launch this kite. So I basically secured the bar, secured the loose line, and tried to figure out where my board was. And it was by that time so far away I couldn't even see it. Um, all right, now I'm looking around. I'm seeing. All right, I'm about. Yeah, thinking about it now, if I look at the GPS, I was about 300, 400 meters offshore. Now, I started swimming, and immediately as I started swimming, my right leg cramped up completely. Bad. I haven't had a cramp this bad ever. Um, I probably landed really hard on my leg or my board. Something hit my leg because it was bad, and I could barely kick. And then I spent the next 5-10 minutes just stretching my leg out, trying to like not drown. Um, and okay, and then I was trying to sort this out, and then by the time I realized, oh, this is a bit of a distance to swim with this much of a cramp, I looked back and like I could see people on the beach, and I could see other kiters maybe 200, 300 meters upwind of me. So I'm there, I'm waving. No one's reacting. I'm waving more. I'm like, okay, wait. I'm gonna start swimming. I tried to swim. Every time I try to bend my leg, it starts cramping up again, and it's excruciatingly painful. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna straighten out my leg. I'm gonna start just pushing with my arms. And as soon as I start pushing with my arms, I start getting a cramp in my shoulders. Getting a cramp in my arms. I have no idea what's going on with me. Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a panic. Okay, I calm down. I was like, look, if you keep trying to swim like crazy, and if I'm trying to, like, if I'm panicking, I'm definitely gonna drown. So I just calmed down. I was looking back, and I'm trying to signal. I'm throwing up water into the air. I'm trying to lift up what's left of my kite, like the wingtip. I eventually I realized that the boat from one of the other schools from lineup is actually also only about 300 meters away from me in flat water. So I'm like trying to signal them. I'm shouting. So you can probably hear from my voice. I'm shouting. No reaction. I take off my vest. I'm waving my vest in the air. In hindsight, that was probably a risk because if my cramp would have gotten worse, I would have just had my vest in my hand and yeah, nothing would have kept me afloat. But I was waving my vest. I was throwing the vest in the air. Um, and this went on for about an hour. I didn't have enough strength to swim back to shore against the wind and the current. And I didn't know if anybody had seen me at all. I mean, no one came to check on me after that crash. I mean, that crash was pretty hard. I wasn't at that point miles away from anybody. But okay, now the current and the waves are pushing me out to sea. I'm doing my best with one arm to keep in one place. And I'm also trying to signal to somebody that I'm actually in serious trouble now. Um, yeah, pretty much an hour went by and nothing, no one's, I don't see anybody reacting. I don't see anybody waving at the beach and what's going on. So pretty much I eventually gave up any hope that anybody had seen me. I'd actually relegated myself, said, look, you need to get yourself back to the beach any way you can, um, or you're going to die out here. So, yeah, I was thinking, like, how, okay, my kite's broken, it's full of water. So I'm trying to get the wingtips up. I'm trying to figure out any option like to not die. I hadn't given up yet, you know. And then eventually, the Flag Beach boat came and picked me up. Man, I've never been so happy in my life. And I really have to thank Ben from Flag Beach, who actually realized that I was gone and I was in trouble and that something had happened. That he actually sent the boat to look for me. Yeah, they came off their teaching course and they looked for me. So I was extremely happy to get in the boat and to not be dead and not have to have, you know, I didn't know. I didn't know how I was going to get back to the beach. So when that boat came, I was extremely happy. So long story short, we did look for my board, but after an hour, like it's about 25 knots, a foil board drifts very fast, and we got our angles wrong, something like that. Later on, checking out the GPS, we were about 15, 20 degrees off where we were looking for the board. So the search area was way too big to find the board eventually, even though it was massively pink. So I mean, that's what happened. So in the long run, I'm alive. I got rescued. All good. Now here, however, is what I would like. This is the main reason for this video at the moment. The problem was that I was very lucky. The fact that I landed and stayed on my back after I blacked out is the reason I'm here. If I had landed in any other angle and my head would have been forward and I would have been in the water, I wouldn't be making this video. I'd be dead, right? And the people who were kiting on that day, they were not miles away. Somebody must have seen what happened. Yeah, it's pretty obvious when a kite slams down that hard and then somebody's lying in the water and they're not moving. None of the other kiters on the water bothered to kite down and have a look. I don't know about the rest of the world, but if I see somebody crash hard even if he's a little bit of a distance away from me. If I don't see anybody else going, I will go down there and I will check if they're okay. 9 times out of 10, it's always fine. People can recover fairly quickly. But in this one case, like with me right now, I was hurt and I couldn't make it back to the beach. And yeah, I've had people writing on my post commenting, going, "Yeah, what could have a kiter done in that situation? They're going to risk their lives to save you or what?" Um, First of all, if I had been unconscious, another kiter could have seen that it was bad, and you can't me. I mean, my kite wasn't in the air. I was lying in the water, unconscious. Another kiter could have just kited up to me and flipped me over and then stopped me from drowning if I was lying face down. What I would have done in that situation is, yeah, I would have flipped over the guy and then proceeded to drag him back or start CPR or something or put them on my board. But okay, that's me. I know what I'm doing. If I don't know what I'm doing, at least what I would have done is flip the guy over and then stayed with him, signaled to somebody else to go in and get some help. Yeah, I would have tried to keep that person alive. In my situation, it would have been cool if somebody would have kited up and said, "Hey man, are you right?" And I would have gone, "No man, I'm I can't swim. Please go and get the boat." I would have known that help is on the way. Somebody would have seen me, and that I would have just been able to calm down and just concentrated on treading water, getting my stuff packed up for the boat. I spent an hour not knowing if anyone had seen me, if anyone cared, and if I was going to die or not. That's not a good situation to be in. This is where panic will set in. And luckily, I'm not a person that's totally prone to panic in those situations. But I am the first to admit that I was scared because I did not know if anyone was ever going to come to help me. So guys, in the olden days, I've been kiting for pretty much close to 20 years now. If anybody went down, even if you knew them or not, you would go and check if they were okay. I don't understand why nowadays this seems to be an issue. And from some of the comments that were left on that posting about that it's not their responsibility, it scares me. It shows that kiting has possibly moved into a completely wrong direction in regards to, I call it the surfer or waterman spirit. On the water when we're surfing, windsurfing, kiting, whatever, we look out for each other. Even on skateboarding, whatever. Somebody goes down, you check if they're okay. Why in God's name would you use an excuse to say, I'm not a really experienced kiter. You can't expect other kiters to, check on you. Of course you can. If something happens to you, you really do expect that maybe somebody who's close to you would maybe come and see if you're still okay, if you're still alive, if you've broken your leg, if you've broken your back. Yeah. All in all, like I said, even if you cannot drag somebody back in, you can then at least assure them that, yeah, I've seen you, I'm going to go get help, I'm going to let somebody know. But just letting somebody drift and not even checking on them, that's not on. So, the next time you guys are in the water, think about that. Really, keep an eye out on each other. It's not a good attitude to be out in the water and not care about the other people around you. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I'm the guy who goes, crap, there's a guy who's in trouble in the water. Oh, look, there's a swimmer being swept out by a rip current. There's a surfer in trouble. There's a windsurfer in trouble. I'm going to go and check if I can help or just check if they're okay. Why is that mentality seeming to be at the moment that I'm in the minority that I should be checking on people? Okay? So, I'm happy I'm alive. I am super thankful for the people who came and rescued me. I am super thankful And I'm really overwhelmed by the support from the people who immediately online offered me support. They were going, "Oh my God, yeah, I can try to get you aboard for this race," and so on. I'm super stoked to, for example, to Moses, who eventually said, "No problem, man. We'll send you a new foil for your race. Don't worry about it. It's all good." And those guys really, they made my day. I was destroyed 2 days ago. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, my racing season's over and so on. So thank you, Moses. Thank you, Groove. Thank you to everybody who basically offered their help. It really sort of took a lot of weight off my shoulders. And yeah, I mean, I'm still not 100% over this, but it really helped. So thanks everybody for that. And to everyone else on the water, really look out for each other. You never know that you might be saving somebody's life by just checking on them. Okay? So rock on. I hope to see you guys on the water. Be safe.